For the Packers, they were the top overall team in the NFL this past season, at least in the regular season. And I'm starting to see a common theme for the Green Bay Packers in the last decade. Aside from 2 bad seasons in 2017 and 2018, they've had some pretty successful regular seasons, and some of which included some MVP-like ones from their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. But when it came to true nut-busting time in the playoffs, they could never get over that hump and get back to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2010. That 2010 season where, Aaron Rodgers won his first and currently to this day only Super Bowl. And, during those over the hump losses included heartbreakers to the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals in back-to-back years. And then there were also those embarrassing NFC Championship stinkers to the Atlanta Falcons in the San Francisco 49ers. And then, of course, there's that most recent and best opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, literally on the table for them. Aaron Rodgers and their head coach, Matt LaFleur, again, tripped and shit on the bed against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks at home when they had the top seed in the NFC. So, literally shit the bed on that one. And they literally spoiled a chance to have the State Farm Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes. So, for the Packers, as if they didn't already have one offseason of controversy enough when they drafted Jordan Love in 2020, 2021 was no different. They already had the re-signs of, sure, you had Aaron Jones coming back, Kevin King coming back, other in-house free agents coming back, and whatever they were drafting that in the NFL draft in 2021. But all that was pretty much overshadowed by the news of Aaron Rodgers initially at the time wanting out of the Green Bay Packers and wanting a trade. Of course, all that was literally debunked, and the Packers and Aaron Rodgers eventually made up, and Aaron Rodgers restructured or at least extended a little parts of his contract so he can return in time for training camp and hopefully this time make a Super Bowl run out of this season. And, after all that craziness, after all that drama, the Packers, look poised to run it back again and dominate the NFC like they did in 2020. And initially, when they started the season, they didn't get the memo. They instead decided to smoke. Let's get all elite, baby, with Adam Cole, baby, and the Cucks of Suck and Kenny Omega. They went to the land of all elite wrestling because the Superdome wasn't available at the time, and they got their ass handed by the New Orleans Saints. They smoked too much of that AEW blunt, whatever Tony Khan man was handing them that day. And the Packers, after that, went on a tear, only losing 3 more times, and they really never lost their grip on the NFC's top seed. And that was because Aaron Rodgers had yet another MVP season, clearly waking up from that AEW hangover and putting up huge production despite losing a few key players on the offensive line. And mind you, his best offensive lineman, David Bakhtiari, he didn't really play most of the season until that pointless Detroit Lions season finale game, and he never showed up for the divisional playoff game because of injury. And then there were also some injuries in the reserve receiving game. But the thing with Aaron Rodgers was he was in the hot water with the media often because of his COVID-19 status and his immunization towards it. And that got him into some trouble with the NFL when he tested positive for COVID, and then he lied about being vaccinated. So he got into some hot water there, missed a big Week 9 matchup, and again, spoiling a State Farm matchup between himself and Patrick Mahomes. And that game also saw Jordan Love make his first ever NFL start, and yeah, that didn't go so great. But either way, Davante Adams continued to show his excellence as one of, if not the top receivers in the NFL. And Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon formed a nice tandem backfield for the Packers. But other than that, the offense was kind of outside of those couple of players. But the Packers defense, probably one of the top in the NFL. They got better under new defensive coordinator Joe Barry, replacing Mike Penn. Edge rusher Rashawn Gary led a strong defensive line alongside linebackers Preston Smith and the other Smith in Za'Darius. The drafting of corner Eric Stokes in the early season acquisition of in-season acquisition of Rasul Douglas. Pretty damn good for the secondary. Both of them were excellent in breaking up plays, creating turnovers, etc., etc. So all in all, they once again clinched the NFC North with relative ease and clinched the top seed in the NFC for the second straight year. And, they only suffered minor setbacks against the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions, with the Lions being a pointless regular season finale. But then when it came again, you win 13 games, you get the top seed in the NFC, you win the NFC North. But much like in years past, the Packers somehow, in some way, found a way to fuck things up and trip over that brick once again and fall into some deep, deep dog doo-doo in the playoffs. You scored in the opening drive against the San Francisco 49ers and Jimmy Garbage fail. And what does Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers do after that? They let the 49ers and their defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans, literally stalled the offense completely. They let the 49ers pass rush get to Aaron Rodgers countless times with Matt LaFleur doing absolutely nothing to change things up. And they let Aaron Rodgers just get sacked relentlessly with no changes whatsoever. And making matters worse was perhaps their biggest glaring weakness that I have yet to mention at all at this point. And their biggest weakness all season long was their special teams. And it came back to bite their ass in the biggest of ways. They were ranked dead last because of their inability to stop kick and punt returns and their inability to make their own big plays. And their kicker, Mason Crosby, missing more field goals than making them. So this special team unit was pretty bad. It was pretty damn bad. And in this game in particular, against the 49ers at home, they allowed JaMychal Hasty and Deebo Samuel to get huge kickoff returns. They let Mason Crosby's field goal get blocked at the end of the first half. And then the thing that changed the game for the Green Bay Packers, they somehow let Jordan Willis break through the special teams offensive line and then block the punt freely, and then everyone's just waiting around. And then here comes Talanoa Hufanga to scoop up the ball right wide open and then score the touchdown to tie the game 10 apiece. And then the momentum shifts in favor of the 49ers from there. And yeah, we all know what happens from there. The 49ers end up winning the game, going on to win the NFC Championship game. And oh my God, it's one thing that Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur, get beat by Tom Brady and the Bucs in the NFC Championship game. But this time around, they didn't even make it back to the NFC Championship game. This was their chance to go back. All they had to do was whoop the candy ass of the San Francisco 49ers and Jimmy Garbage fail. But they didn't even do it. They couldn't even do it. They couldn't, Aaron Rodgers didn't show up for even the first playoff game. They didn't do shit. They only did shit on the first drive, but they forgot about everything else after that. So 2021 was literally Rodgers' chance to finally get over that hump, go back to his second Super Bowl. But he once again, alongside Matt LaFleur, we should be calling them that now, Matt LaFleur, until he decides to do something besides going to the NFC Championship game. Both of them failed to show up. They failed to show up when it came to true nut-busting time. Sure, Aaron Rodgers has already decided to come back to the Green Bay Packers and already agreed to extension. All's happy in Titletown. But is it really? Is it really right now? Let me ask you that, Cheeseheads. Let me ask you that, Packer Nation. Let me ask you that. Because, going to their offseason, coming off their somewhat successful 13-4 season, they were minus $44 million in the cap. So big red. Now they managed to get under that cap before the league year started, but man, they had to do a lot of things to get under that cap. Some of their key free agents included Kevin King and Rasul Douglas, Robert Tonyan, who suffered that torn ACL in Week 8 against the Arizona Cardinals, linebacker Devondre Campbell, Whitney Merciless, Marcus Valdes-Scantling, some of the key free agents there. Some of their key offseason moves was obviously getting Aaron Rodgers back, finally goading him into a decision, and then getting linebacker Preston Smith into a contract contract extension. They also re-signed Rasul Douglas and Robert Tonyan back, but they lost Marcus Valdes-Scantling to the Kansas City Chiefs, but I don't think he'll be a major loss for them. They also lost Za'Darius Smith to the Minnesota Vikings, and yeah, that's kind of a blow to that Packers defense, and especially kind of a blow when you lose them to a division rival. Yeah. What are you doing? And then perhaps the biggest blow of all for the Green Bay Packers is trading away Davante Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders for this year's first and second round picks. Now, yes, you get a first and second round pick this year, but it's no guarantee that Brian Gutekunst and the Packers front office are going to nail that first round pick and second round pick to find Davante Adams' replacement. So, like, damn, like, where are they going to find production? Where are they going to find anything for this offense now that Aaron Rodgers is deciding to come back? Like, damn. Yes, Davante Adams is going to play for a lesser quarterback in Derek Carr. Ooh, yes, they both played together in Fresno. But holy shit. Holy crap. Why did Aaron Rodgers decide to stay? If he knew about this too. If he knew Davante Adams, like, had to go away. Damn. Holy shit. So for the Packers, after all that restructuring, after literally giving away Davante Adams to the Raiders, they have about $15 million to spend throughout the rest of the offseason. So some room for their first round picks and the remaining draft picks and whatever they want to spend else in free agency. Now, the current draft position, they have 2 in the first round in the 22nd pick from the Raiders and their own first round pick in number 28. And some of their needs, and oh man, they're going to definitely need a big one on this, is finding wide receivers with a Z, a big fat Z in it to replace Davante Adams. And like I said, it's going to be very hard to replace Davante Adams in the production he had. Just like with the Kansas City Chiefs, it's going to be hard to find production that Tyreek Hill had for Patrick Mahomes. But in terms of the Packers, they're going to need it fast. They're going to need it really fast if Rodgers hopes to finally return to the Super Bowl. Now, there's plenty of worthy late first round receivers in this draft. So hopefully by that time, whether it's 22nd and 28th, hopefully this time, general manager Brian Gutekunst, finally wakes his ass up to pick a receiver, the best available one that fits in Matt LaFleur's offense in this draft. And probably they should use a second round pick to nab another one too. They could also use some help on the front seven because, well, they lost Preston Smith to the Minnesota Vikings, and that could end up being a big loss for the Packers pass rush. So clearly they have 2 first round picks, so maybe they could use the other one on finding another linebacker to replace the production value for what Smith had to offer. So like in years past, 2021 for the Green Bay Packers, they were a talented team. 13 wins, NFC North, top seed in the NFC, but also like in years past, they, and especially Aaron Rodgers, they flopped very hard when the bright lights shined on them. And this time around, they didn't even get back to the NFC Championship game. They lost to the 49ers of all teams, and they lost to, of all quarterbacks, Jimmy Garoppolo, aka Jimmy Garbage Fail. Making matters worse for the Green Bay Packers is that the front office was forced to ship out Rodgers' go-to option in Davante Adams to pretty much roll it back with Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders, like Derek Carr and Davante Adams were doing it in Fresno when they were in college. So, holy hell. The Packers better find some receivers for Aaron Rodgers to go to in 2022, or they're not going to be producing much shit in 2022, despite, having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. And perhaps soon enough, for Aaron Rodgers, he may be soon regretting staying in Green Bay, signing that big-ass contract extension, because, yes, he cares about the money, but at the cost of what? Exactly. At the cost of what? And my final question for the Green Bay Packers is, can you even call yourselves an NFC favorite, let alone an NFC North favorite at this point in time? We'll see.